Content. Fuck. That word is so different now in 2021.
What do you feel when you hear content? Oh, actually, let's just save that for later.
Okay.
Because that's a juicy question. I'm literally just winging it right now. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the Alacrity podcast. I firmly believe everyone has the alacrity within them, which is basically the shit they're passionate about. Alacrity stands for brisk, cheerful readiness. It's that energy when curiosity turns into a raging inferno. Now, because of that, my intention for the listener, for you, is to hopefully help you discover your own alacrity, or even just help you gain insight on your journey by hearing the amazing stories of other legends on that path. It's an excuse to connect with cool, like-minded people and really just get to know them on a deeper level through casual conversation, diving into their stories of their journey and what they learned. And also, it's an organic way of creating content. I guess that's my intro. Now, our guest today had an eclectic childhood growing up in KOB, the Kingdom of Bahrain.
Sorry.
Had a natural. Hey, no, don't stop my flow. I'm gonna go again. I'm gonna go again.
Sorry. Okay. I wasn't expecting that. Okay.
I know
Jesus.
you're not expecting this.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Go.
light you up
Yeah.
like a motherfucker.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
Go.
Our guest today. Don't make me laugh, bro. All right. Okay, let's go. Our guest today had an eclectic childhood growing up in KOB, the Kingdom of Bahrain, had a natural and instinctive pull to the creative arts through school, being a multi-instrumental musician playing in different bands. In 2013, he went to study photography at the School of Design and Arts at College of St. Benilde in Manila, Philippines. And by 2015, he left because he basically was booked out with photo shoots constantly. He had no time for school because he's too cool for school. But for real, that same year, he got featured by Cosmo, an American multinational $1 million lifestyle and fashion magazine company, as its favorite upcoming photographer. I'm in love with the photography of our guest. His uncluttered images celebrate the beauty of the female form. Those were the words by global fashion and beauty editor Mariam Ahari. Since then, he's held several exhibits in prominent spaces in Makati, such as Home, Solo Exhibit, Prism Gallery, A Space, and the Correlative Exhibit. For 2 consecutive years, his work has been featured by British international magazine FHM. In 2019, another feature by Metro Society magazine. In 2020, in the midst of Corona, Tatler magazine wrote an article about the work he was doing, getting shoots done online, and pioneered that movement. And by the end of the year, he gets another feature by New York-based Element magazine with the title Socially Distanced Plastered in Pink. I love that. And since then, in 2021, he's moved back to the KOB to start his own studio, 1910. One of the OG Pokemon fanboys and also played esports professionally, competing at Marvel games. Welcome to the podcast, Kevin Brent.
Thank you. It's just so, like, when you hear an intro about you, it's just like, now I understand why Joan was asking me some questions. I was like, why are you asking me about the magazines? Jeez. He was like, when did you finish school? Like, when did you start? It's like, oh, 2013. I get it.
But it's good though.
Good to be on the show.
Welcome to the show, baby.
Thank you.
Man, I'm so happy you're here, man. It's kind of fitting because when I started my filmmaking and creative journey, like photography, but more into filmmaking, you were my guide. You know, I looked up to you because, you know, you kind of doing it already before, like when we finished high school. Side note to the listener, we grew up together. Yeah, when we finished high school, I was kind of doing like I knew I wanted to be a chef, and you kind of knew you wanted to be a photographer, so you were doing it way before me. And so when I've kind of transitioned out of chefing and into the filmmaking creative, it's a no-brainer. I reached out to you, and you've been such a crucial part of my journey to get me where I am now. And I thank you for that. And I'm so happy that you're you're our first guest at the Alacrity podcast, whatever I'm doing here. So I'm honored you're here, man.
Yeah, no problem, dude. It's not really it's almost like a full circle thing wherein like
it's crazy, eh?
Yeah, I remember those days where we would talk about it. Exactly. That's what I meant. Like it's now we're both in the industry, and it's cool. It's great. And I just remember back then, and I used to message every now and then whenever I see something good that you do, and be very like impressed of how far you were coming along. And yeah, it also made me kind of feel good, because like I really, because I have a what's the word? I love sharing information. I don't want to call it teaching, but then like when people ask me questions, like I don't mind sharing, because that's how I was introduced to the industry as well. Like I was which is kind of rare now that I've come across other creatives. Like it's so rare to find a good circle wherein they're not selfish with their information, and just things that it would be so nice to know starting out. And that's what they did to me. So I always try to pass it on to people. Like whenever they ask me questions, like I have I can show you how I edit. Like I don't really, I don't really care, because like at the end of the day, all our photos look different. Like I have classmates who I'm still good friends with, who are photographers in the same industry, who learned the same things, and we even did the same shoots together. But like the output is always different. So realizing that, like, why do I need to hide my tech, or like why do I need to hide information? Like just share it. And when I learned that you wanted to get into it, like I would love to share what I do with you, because if I could tell these random strangers who message me on Instagram, why not tell a friend from a childhood friend? Like I'd love to do that. And
yeah, man. There's a lot to unpack there. I didn't want to interrupt you there, and you said, actually, you said you don't want to say that you're teaching. Why? You want to say, you said like it's more of sharing.
Yeah, because even if I've always learned that, because I have three friends who kind of got into the creative field. There's you, there's another classmate when I was doing college in Baguio, who's in New York now, who's taking photography. And then there's another friend here in Bahrain. And there are times where
Johan?
Johan. And then I had another friend in Baguio who's not there anymore. He's in New York, who's a photographer. And there are moments where like they would teach me stuff. So I don't think it's I don't have even if I have more experience, like I'm always learning, So instead of like I don't know, it's just I prefer the word sharing than teaching, because I'm always learning all the time, even from the people who I've like taught. But then that's why I never really, because even when I do my workshops, we're just hanging out and I'm just sharing information.
Yeah.
And the profession is called like being a teacher, but like I don't know, I just feel myself as someone who passes along information. Like I'll learn it, I'll pass it on. I'm not I know my way around a camera and around lights, but I don't know. I just don't feel the word teacher applies to me yet. Maybe it's just a personal thing. Share sounds more comfortable, if that makes sense.
Do you feel like the word teacher is put up on a pedestal so
Yeah,
high
definitely.
that you feel like you're not worthy yet? Almost.
Because in my experience I've had one teacher that kind of like blew my mind, and I don't know if I've done
I
that
see.
to
You
other
raised the
people.
bar.
So they
You-
kind of like he
Shout him
'cause-
out. Who was he?
Okay, the story was, per Andre Hoffman. He was my teacher in CSB. He's a really well established.
Shout
What's
out.
the word?
You reckon he's on IG?
Basically, he doesn't really have Instagram, but he's
The
so OG
OGs don't.
that he started with film, national, what was that magazine? National Geographic. Yeah, so he shot National Geographic before. He's been everywhere, dude. Like he's when in the first class he was like, okay, so the next class that we're gonna do is you have to bring in 3 of the best photos that you've ever taken. You feel like it could be any genre. And then in that first class, he also kind of showed like his work, so that I don't know. I feel like it's important, so we know why we're listening to. And he had photos everywhere. Like he shot photos of penguins. Like the film camera was half underwater, half over the water. So there were penguins underneath the iceberg, and like it was insane. He's gone everywhere.
Cool. Damn.
And so the next class, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna fuck this class up. I'm gonna be the fucking best. Like, cause I'm naturally competitive, even if I don't know anyone else.
The
I
Alacrity.
just felt so confident.
The Alacrity.
And I showed my photos, and he was like, why is it overexposed? I'm like, but that's the point. Like, I love high contrast black and white. Like, that's my shit. Like, I love it. And he was like, no, but you see this pillow, this thing on the couch. The pillow's blending with the couch, so like, it doesn't add to the photo. It doesn't add that oomph to the photo. It's just like this thing that you wonder about. Like, is that a pillow or is that part of the couch? And the moment he said that, I was like, and my eyes just kind of opened, like, oh my god, I've been doing it wrong for so long.
Awareness.
Or like, I thought this was right, and it wasn't. And that, among other lessons he taught me, was why I put him on a pedestal, wherein like, for someone to impact my life like that, or like for someone to impact my point of view about photography, I think that's why that pedestal is so high. I think I don't know if I've done that to other people or not. I try to. I say the same shit he does. Huh, that's nice to hear.
Yeah, man.
But yeah.
When I first reached out to you and I asked you for feedback on, I can't even remember that. There's so many shitty videos I made when I was starting out, but one of the biggest takeaways I'll take from you, and I share it to others as well, when they ask for my feedback, is the frame by frame shit.
Frame by frame?
Like, question every frame. Question every, like, why question everything, basically. That's what you taught me. Like, question every frame, in a sense that this cut or this frame right now, there has to be a reason of why you do this. And it's kind of like the questioning of why this is meaningful. Like, why are you cutting here? Where's the, what's the word? Oh my God. And I'm a quote unquote filmmaker.
Basically purpose. Everything needs,
when everything makes sense with each frame, each scene, each cut. Continuity. Sorry, that's the word. Everything has to have continuity, and at the same time, there was another thing. Anyway, there's so many things that, like, just the mindset behind it. You said to me one time, even though you're a photographer, our understanding of the fundamentals should be the same. Because it like the art form is still kind of the same. And yeah, man, you did a lot of like mind opening shit for me, which really helped me starting out. and like, cause like I'm on that, we were talking earlier about our childhood and like my natural inclination to want to learn, and that whole path of like learning from so many other people. YouTube, motherfucker, YouTube University. There's so many amazing creatives like sharing their insights, and I'm sure there's so much more creators out there like who haven't like fully shared all their knowledge. Sorry, I'm burping. That would help others along the way, and that's what I'm trying to. I guess what I'm trying to say is, have you considered sharing more of your tips? I know you don't want to say teach, but share more of these things, of your knowledge and your experience gain, because you learn better by sharing and not.
That's true, actually. Teaching. Yeah,
you ingrain
definitely.
that. Have you considered that?
I have. I've always tried to do workshops whenever I can. COVID is just kind of halting that a bit, but I have considered doing online workshops or kind of something similar to Skillshare, wherein I'll make a video and people just buy the video from me, something like that. Yeah, something like that.
A TikTok.
What? No, I don't see. That's the thing. Like, it's the branding. I don't think it's. But I don't know. Maybe it's just me being.
It's you, bro.
Weird about it. It just doesn't seem.
You already have your Instagram. TikTok is like, if you bring value, like, I'm no TikTok expert, right? I'm still kind of on my path, but I've been connecting with like other creators that are kind of like up there, like really, like when I first started out, I connected with a guy, Sev, and like, cause he's really into Gary Vee. And when Gary Vee was like a couple of years ago was saying like everyone needs to go to TikTok, and all the other creators were like, oh, TikTok, that's for kids. But he fucking started it, and he hustled his ass off. He's in like 300,000 followers right now, and he's just doing it. The creator economy and the passion economy, it's a thing, man. Multinational brands are investing millions of dollars into creators. You know, why do creators get sponsorships by Nike and like Skillshare, all these companies? Why would they invest money in that? It's because the attention is there and the trust is there. Like, if you build a following because you've gained an audience by bringing value to the people you're serving. So I'm getting really passionate because I'm kind of on that path right now. But yeah, there's a big opportunity right now. It's a moment in time right now.
We watch a lot of Gary Vee as well, me and Joan.
Gary Vee.
But yeah, TikTok is.
What's your thoughts?
Yeah, it's okay. So I still watch a lot of YouTube, but you know, YouTube has that TikTok feature where you just keep swiping up on your phone. At least when you're on your phone watching YouTube, when you're browsing your videos, there's a point where there's like TikTok-ish videos where you just keep swiping.
The shorts?
Yeah, the shorts. And I got so hooked on that because I only tried TikTok like 2 weeks ago, I think. I've only joined, and it is a different world. Like, it's a more, I don't want to say you can't be honest on Instagram, but you can.
Yeah.
I don't want to say you're more natural. I know where you're going. I think it's just the way the approach on TikTok is. It's more
the rawness.
Yeah, it's more raw, but it doesn't mean you can't be raw or honest on Instagram. It's just it's more catching when you just see the person holding their phone. Like, yes. I think the funniest videos are just like these people just using their phones, or like it's so handheld and it just does it for you. But on Instagram, it's like that doesn't really work out for Instagram. So it's a different approach, and I'm trying to get used to it. Like I'm still figuring out what to put out. I've been doing some photography things, like the setup versus the shot kind of stuff, where like
Yeah, that's cool.
there's BTS. Yeah, there's BTS of me doing something, and I'll show like what the photo looks like from the location. Um, yeah, I still, yeah, me and Joan actually wrote down like, what's that, content what? Content pillars.
Ooh,
Yeah,
interesting.
we've written down. I don't fully, I understand it, but I can't fully explain like. But then it's just a guide to like. So what I've tried to do is every other day is I'll post something on TikTok, which I haven't done, but like Instagram, TikTok, and under, for example, the TikTok section of Saturday, it's gonna be like something personal, and under the personal is the options
Ooh.
of what I think I can do, and that's what shows up. And like on say Monday for TikTok, it's something shoot related, so something like maybe what I'm carrying in my bag, or like
BTS.
what my favorite lens is, or like
Yeah.
yeah.
Ooh,
And then
that's awesome.
So it
Send me
keeps
that.
branching out. So that's why it's like pillars, I guess, because it's like
Yeah, yeah.
it's the foundations of what you post, and you just keep adding ideas to like under personal, what else can I do, or like under shoot related, what else can I do, like, and it helps. I just haven't attempted it yet because I've been doing shoots lately.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's awesome.
TikTok is it fucks up our sleep schedule. There are times.
Tell me about it.
There are literally times now where me and Joan are like, so we would watch whatever we're watching after dinner. It's around 12 a.m. and then it's like, you want to just stop what we're watching and just like be on our phones. And she was like, okay. So that'll happen for like 2 hours. We're just like on fucking TikTok or like whatever.
Jesus.
Mostly TikTok. And then
It's
like,
a beast.
I sent you a funny, so then she'll check it out. And we're right beside each other.
But you know what? Some people look at that, be like, what the hell? But this is the digital age. We live in the digital age now. We've completely merged. And obviously, like too much screen time, because I'm guilty as well. It's fucked up my sleep cycle. It's fucked up my head because it's a different beast. It's like I'm still kind of adapting to it. The algorithm is fucking next level. Like, it knows you better than you. And because of the way it's set up, you can't stop seeing shit. And it like analyzes every fucking second that you're on something. Okay, oh, he likes this. I'll show him more of this. And I'll show him more of that. Oh, he didn't like that. I'll show him more of this. And it's just like, oh my God. It like, as soon as I open it, it's like, oh shit, I love the shit. I love the shit. I love the shit. I don't like this shit so much. But I'm actually personally curating it. I don't know if I shared this with you, but I shared it with someone. If I come across something that I don't really resonate with, I'll long press the video.
Yeah.
I do the same. Not interested. Yeah, so it curates it curates my feed. Anyway, we've kind of just like rambled, and I guess the listener right now, I don't know how long we've been talking, but I really want to try and give some value for whoever's listening right now. I
have a question.
Oh,
do you
does it work like this?
Curate? Yeah, why not? I have a question for you. It's a good
Tell me.
Because with TikTok, it's easier to actually curate what you see, I think.
Yes.
Because you can instantly swipe away or like not interested the post.
Yeah.
Do you do the same thing on Instagram?
How can you?
With
the reels?
No, I actually mute or unfollow a lot of accounts that used to.
Yeah, I get it.
They used to I don't want to say entertain, but like now that
you resonate.
Because the thing with Instagram is after I think 5 posts, there's an ad. So in my head, it's like I want to maximize what I see that I like. So I'll go to my following again, and then I'll start from who I followed latest. And if I don't remember why I follow them, or like if we don't interact, or if they don't follow me, then I'll just unfollow, because like I don't want to see that random post that doesn't relate to me, or like I don't find appealing or anything.
Yeah.
Because it just made me think like you can do
Oh,
that
yeah, I
so
do
much easier on TikTok. It's like not that they fixed that problem, but like it's just so much easier to choose what you want to see on TikTok than Instagram. Kind of.
Yeah,
I
no,
think.
yeah, I've done that, and because the thing is, like, you kind of have to. It's a risk, right? Like you're exposing yourself to so much that
Mhm.
you kind of have to turn on a filter. Like
Mhm.
I'm actually look,
Exactly. It's so important actually when
it's
you
so
think
important.
about like what you see every time you're looking at your phone, because there's something that could inspire you or something that could like
Yes.
throw your mood off. Like it's so quick. So I take importance to that I even the people who I've worked with before, like I would mute their posts because I don't like what they post sometimes. So I would mute it.
Yeah, I get it.
Or like most of my high school and college
It's
friends I don't follow on Instagram because I see it on Facebook anyway. So I won't follow you on
yeah,
Instagram because I don't want
I don't
to
think
see the
it's
same selfie here and there.
yeah, no, I don't think it. I don't take it personally, and I don't think anyone should. It's more of, it's just it's a you thing, and um, what I really want to ask is just to kind of give the listener a bit more of like context, and because I didn't actually really write down questions, but I'm just curious. And
Okay.
you mentioned it earlier when we were talking before we started. But when we were kids, you naturally gravitated towards the arts, right? Now, you mentioned, did you always know that you wanted to be a photographer?
No, I realized that in my second year of taking up mass communication in Baguio. There was a photography class. Actually, no, video. I lied.
Oh,
There was a video class. And I
Video
actually
class?
wanted to, yeah, mass communication. It's broad, journalism,
that's true.
photojournalism. There's a bit of everything. So there's a video class and I liked it a lot. And I was like, I think this is what I want to do. And,
What part of it did you like?
I don't know. I just like creating videos. But then it was very short lived because I also realized like, oh man, it's gonna be so hard to do videos by myself because I felt like I had I already felt like I had this really good vision of what I wanted, what I needed.
Yep.
And when I would talk to other people who were also interested in the same field, we didn't really align. And I just felt
Hard.
so alone when it came to that. So I tried so quickly, like I think it just took like a month. Like it was so quick. I was like, I'll take photos instead. I love it both. And I took photos and yeah, like I had such a good time creating photos. And from that, I almost immediately asked my mom if I could transfer to CSB. I had like this long email, this sappy letter explaining why I'm not going to be a lawyer anymore.
What?
Because mass comm is a prerequisite to. Yeah, because she was like, okay, be a doctor or a lawyer. Because I had no idea what I wanted to do, and I was like,
yeah. How were you supposed to know?
Yeah, so because it was just that time where I needed to start going to college because I was just doing part-time job, and okay, I'll try being a lawyer. And I saw under the prerequisites mass comm. I was like, okay, I'm good, and I don't want to take economics because that sounds so boring. So mass comm is a prerequisite, and I'm like, okay, maybe I'll figure something out on the way, or if not, I like talking. Maybe I'll be an anchorman, or I'll be something in journalism. Like that was the thought process before. Yeah,
awesome.
I don't know. I just because I thought like
can't imagine you being
every fucking day. Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
But it's great. Never put a box.
Yeah. So that happened, and then fast forward to one of the major subjects where it made me fall in love with taking photos, and that was it. I transferred to CSB. I knew what I wanted. I immediately knew what I wanted after that. Like this, it was so. I'm glad that I kind of had it a bit late. I would say, like, I wish I wanted to take photos earlier than I was 23. But yeah, like there was this like undeniable, like, this is what I wanted to do. Like, period. Like, I love music. I don't mind being a musician, but like photos are like, it was a different kind of conviction. Like, I really wanted to do this for the rest of my life.
I actually want to dive deeper into that.
Okay.
In terms of during that moment when you were taking that video class, what do you remember anything specifically in that moment that actually made you feel, or was it a feeling? Was it a thought? How did that decision to go into photography happen? You know, how did you know that you knew?
I was choosing which camera to get, and I remember talking to I'm trying to remember. I remember one moment that kind of helped to push it along why I wanted to do it. So this is that moment. I was talking to Kuya Dan, which is Sammy's eldest brother.
Yep.
And he was friends with Billy's older brother, JC Valencia, who is an amazing photographer, videographer. And he had a story about JC wherein he, because of his photos, like I forgot this calamity happened in Manila, in the Philippines. I forgot, like, I think a storm came over, it ruined houses, like, and JC went there, took photos, and because of those photos, I think people donated to that part.
Ooh, that's powerful.
To that place. Yeah. And I was like, yo, that's sick. That's like, I want to do that. Like, I want to create things and change things. And I was like, what camera was he using back then? It was like, I think it was a 7D, and I immediately chose to buy. I bought a 7D actually because of that. And
marketing people, listen to that story. I'm just like,
but what really? I don't know. I just really
shout out
enjoyed.
to JC though. He's the inspo.
Yeah, I think there was one job we worked together, this advertising job for a bank in Philippines. It was so weird seeing him there. I'm like, hey, just seeing him on the set. I was like, oh,
world's too small, bro.
And then and we hung out, and I probably told him that story, and it was just so cool, like going full circle where we worked together from that beginning of like looking up to that story and to that, and then we got together. And
so you wanted to impact
cool.
people.
I did before, in that kind of way. I mean, I still do, but I think it's a bit different now. Like, I mean, I love photojournalism, and I just, maybe if I have the opportunity to, like, I do love taking BTS and stuff like that, but I just fell in love with fashion more.
Passion for fashion.
Passion for fashion.
That's a great segue, because that's kind of like my next question with your Vicks inhaler straight up the nose. From that, how, like, you go into school, right? And you get to a point where you leave school because you were doing so much photo shoots. Like, how did that transpire? I know there's so many moving parts there, but you know, all the greats left college. Bill Gates, Steve Jobs. You're up there.
Jeez.
I'm just saying, like, you know, what transpired in that time for you to leave school?
Because
your mom would have been like, "Oh, bro, why? What the fuck? You said you're gonna do photography."
Oh no, she was.
She's probably mad as hell.
Like,
She's probably mad as
Yeah,
hell.
she was for sure.
Because it's old school, right? Like parents want you to school. And maybe for anyone listening right now, maybe you're going through something where you're in school and your parents are like pushing you so hard because they're like old school mentality, school's the way, only way. What was going on there for you to be able to A, convince your parents, and B, help you made you decide, I'm done with school. I need to get out.
What happened was, so I was doing a lot of shoots, and I just felt like I was. Now that I think about it, I wasn't that old actually. I was 24, turning 25, I think, and I felt like I was running out of time. Like I felt like I need to be I know I can get to where I need to be faster if I don't waste my time going to school every day.
I know that feeling.
And okay, but just it depends on what you're taking up. Like if you're taking up something in the creative field, then I think if you feel like you don't want to waste time and waste money, especially like some art schools are very expensive. If you feel like you've learned everything, then and you have a good portfolio, then you don't really need that anymore. Especially in our kind of field where they don't care. Like I've never had a job where they were like, see, you went to CSB but didn't finish, we're not going to get you. They never said that. They look at my photos and that's all that matters. That's all what people want. They want your portfolio. Like they want a good looking portfolio. If they see what you can do, then like it doesn't matter where you come from, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because your output is the most important thing but if you're going to be like an accountant or like an engineer or a lawyer, then school matters a lot. It depends on what you want in life. But for me, what I did in CSB was I actually took the majors first because I came from another school. And then when I looked at the list, I was like, I don't want to start with all the minors again. Like, I feel like I've done this already, but I had to do it again. So I was able to pick the subjects I wanted to in the beginning. So I actually finished the majors on, I think, my second year or year and a half. And after that, I already had my thesis then, a year and a half. Like I already did that class. And I'm like, well, what else am I doing here? Like I feel like, and there were so many jobs that, I remember now.
Share
the things that push me to really kick out. Yeah. I was
Share
like,
the stories.
I had these jobs where like, even from my teachers, it was funny. One of my teachers like, dude, I have a job for you. I was like, I can't, because like if I miss this class, I'll get dropped out. And like there were all these little.
Go into detail, man. What was this job? Who was this teacher? What did it entail?
I forgot the job, but it was
okay.
It was Sir Brian Bravo. Basically, I think he couldn't do it at the time, so he gave it to me, something like that. And he was my professor in CSB, and I was like, I'd love to, but it's in conflict with this one class that if I miss out on, they're gonna drop me, because it was like my last absence. There are other cases where in like I totally chose, huh?
You're too cool for school.
There was another case where there was this one final wherein we had to go to this exhibit and a bunch of other locations, and we needed photo proof that we went there. And that's like a big part of the final or something. It wasn't the final exam, but it's a big part of it. And I talked to the teacher and I was like, I couldn't do all of them because on the days I had some shoots that I had to do instead.
Yeah.
And she was like, she failed me. And her message was like, once you decide to take school seriously, then parang something, come back. I was like, are you kidding me? I'm already doing things I'm supposed to do after I graduate. What do you mean I'm not taking this course seriously? Like this is, I've jumped ahead. and I've been working already. And then you're giving me this reason. And the biggest fuck you to that school was they asked me to do a workshop in CSP a few years after.
Oh shit!
And I love it. I love it.
Did you do it? Did you do the work?
Yeah, I did it. I did it.
Oh, you should have just said no. You should have said no. I'm not doing it.
I don't know. I love.
You love sharing.
But no, the thing was that class was a minor subject. It wasn't even a major, and it was just so annoying.
That teacher, man, had some issues there. Yeah. She could have just easily said, "Hey, can you just like, I'll extend your deadline or whatever." Yeah, or extend your deadline, whatever. It's not a big deal. It's. I think it's an ego thing. It's like, I don't know. Yeah. Because maybe because like there are other kids that are lying. Like, I know I have to do this, and then she thought that. Yeah, because and like they're just getting high or getting drunk or whatever, but they're not really. He's just saying, "No, I gotta shoot."
I get that.
Yeah. So I don't want to shit on.
I remember I used to, when I had plates for certain subjects in photography. During a shoot, I would kind of ask a favor from like the model or whoever the talent is, like for one was like. I remember accessories. Accessories was like the plate was accessories for school. And after the shoot, I was like, do you mind just wearing like a bracelet or something? And like, that's just, not that I didn't prioritize my subjects, but like if there was a shoot, I would try to squeeze in my plate from the shoot somehow and just do what I can with it. I don't know. Like when it was later on, when I've learned, when I felt like I learned what I needed to, and in my head it was just like portfolio experience. I need that now. Like that's what I need right now to prioritize on. And when I felt confident enough, that's when I made a decision to stop school. And to this day, I would think about like, did I make a mistake? Were there situations where it would have been better that I finished school? And I can't really think of any, because it doesn't matter. They just look at your photos. They look at your work at the end of the day.
For sure.
And it's just, I just felt like I was running out of time for some reason.
It's always the case.
That's why I immediately stopped.
Yeah, no, it's always the case. Like once you get out of school anyway, people are going to ask you for experience. Like once you get out of school, you're applying for jobs and they're going to ask, oh, do you have any experience? Dude, I just got out of school. How am I going to get the experience if you don't give me the job? It's always the case. It's always the case.
It's flawed. The fucking setup is flawed.
And then you're out there getting experience and the teacher's like, oh no, you're not taking this shit seriously. Anyway.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
So, bro, after school, you fucking crushing it. All these fucking features. The list goes on, dude. Cosmo. Like the fire was there. The alacrity was there. How was that like? How was that journey? Doing that. Were there any key moments? What really was there like a moment where like, it kind of was like a major Kickstarter into the path of like getting into all of this, like meeting a specific person, or I don't know, getting a certain shoot where how did you go about, like was there a major photo shoot that you had that kind of led to what happened before that led to those photo shoots?
I'm trying to think actually. But all I remember is that I just kept trying to shoot as often as I can, whether it was paid or not back then. I had the opportunity to be able to do that, wherein I just wanted to ask for test shoots all the time. and I was just
Remember
so
that,
hungry for new photos that I used to live in this compound, and there were houses for rent, for sale in the compound. There were empty houses, and I would ask the caretaker, like, can I shoot here? It'll just be a second, like an hour. I'll bring a model
That's
in,
dope.
and I would just give them like cigarettes or like McDonald's. Like they just wanted something in return.
McDonald's.
And then he would tell me the days where I can and can't go. And I just went all around the village looking at these empty houses that no one in, because there were these beautiful big empty houses with like glass windows, and I'm like, no one's here. The door is open. There's just a caretaker. So I just thought like, yeah, I mean there was a caretaker in the back, like just, you know, I guess to guard the house. And I would just ask like, just be a second. And he was like, yeah, sure. And I was just
No one
so
owned
hungry
these houses.
to create. Well, it was for sale. So
Okay.
I guess the people.
It was like
it's just an empty. It's completely empty. No furniture, no nothing.
Yeah. That's dope.
And I used to.
The hustle is real.
Yeah, I just really wanted to.
How do you feel
I wasn't-
in those moments?
It's exciting. I didn't even like.
Yeah.
I mean, we all think about followers and everything, but I wasn't really thinking about that as much as just I wanted to create really cool photos. That was all in my head, and I'm like, it'll be cooler if we had this. It'll be cooler if we did this.
Yep.
Like I just always wanted to create something that hasn't been seen that often. I don't want to say seen before, because like I feel like most of the things have been seen already. We just haven't seen them.
But everything creative has been spun off from something else.
Yeah,
everything. Yeah, it's never original.
We used to do this thing where we would shoot girls and like in their underwear or like in their bikinis on the streets of any kind of street at night. And I thought like, yo, this is some cool shit. Like no one's done this in Manila. Like no one has ever done this shit in Manila. And we just kept doing it. And then
you're the pioneer of that, I think.
I don't think so. Maybe, but
I'm gonna call it. Whatever. I don't care. They don't know me in the industry over there. So
2016. It was a long time ago. 17, 16, probably 16, 15. It was just fun. Like me and my classmate, DJ, we were classmates in photography. And during that time, I don't think I had a license yet. Anyway, so he would drive us around and take photos too. So we would do it. And because of just the amount of shoots that I was doing at that time, I was able to, I think what really hit me was like, I was able to work with most of the people who I would message, or like, I would just, like, there are these people with check marks and like, what, I can shoot with you? That's crazy. Just from like the consistency of.
Yeah, keep going. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Because just the.
That's okay. Just the consistency of the work I was putting out and the quality I thought that I had to upkeep. Like I just didn't want to upload any kind of photo that was just okay. I mean, in the beginning there were times it was like that, but I tried to learn early on, I think, that the quality of photo really matters. And I just kept refining that idea of like, it's quality over quantity. But if you can upload quality all the fucking time, like every day or every other day, then you're just like,
bro, you were
forced to be reckoned with.
Yeah, fuck. You were in the
like you can't
sweet spot. Yeah, that sweet spot of quantity and quality. And would you say the quantity made the quality as well? Like if you didn't have that like amount of, because you said you were doing a lot of shoots. So those, because you were doing a lot of shoots consistently, that helped you create more quality.
Yeah. Oh, in that sense, yes, because I believe in the right kind of practice. Because you could be practicing.
Practice.
You could.
What is that?
Yeah,
what is that? I want to learn. I want to hear this. What's the right kind of practice?
During that time, because I haven't done that in a while because of COVID. It's harder to do it now. But I would shoot with. I wasn't that picky. I mean, that's a lie. I was.
No one's there. Are you sure?
No, I know I'm very picky about what I upload, but who I shoot with, not as much. Like I could no, like okay. To clarify why I said that is, I would shoot different kinds of people. Like some of them aren't models, some of them are models. Like some are influencers, some are people who are just pretty who kind of want to try get into modeling. Basically, I would try to shoot all these people so that I will be prepared for when it actually really matters. Like, for example, you have a client and this is the talent. She doesn't really model. We'll leave that to you. At least I'll know how to approach it because I've done that in a test shoot already. That, among other things, of like what's like practicing the right, because you could just keep shooting the same thing again and again. You're not really practicing. You're just doing the same thing. Like you're good at it already. Like do something uncomfortable so that when an uncomfortable situation happens,
that's brilliant.
You're ready. Basically, just because I learned this from playing games, from fighting games.
Game theory.
Just being
all about game theory.
Yeah. Just being optimal about every decision you do, including doing the test shoots. Like if you're gonna do something, again, why the purpose of doing it? Like you try to get the most out of everything for the situation. Like when the situation comes up that you need it, you're prepared because you've practiced.
Yeah.
So that's smart practice, I think.
Damn. Would you plan the shoot ahead of time and have a sort of like a base? Like, okay, this shoot, I'm learning this, or I'm kind of pushing the limits or my boundaries here or there ahead of time, or it was just like whatever?
Depends on...
Yeah. Depends on the shoot.
Also depends on the model. If I know if the model isn't really, if they're not that, what do you call this? What's the word? Curious isn't the word. They're more.
I kind of know what you're trying to say.
Basically, if they're also down to just create cool things. Because there's some models who aren't. They just kind of want to. They just want to look pretty and everything. Like that's cool. Like I don't have a problem with that. But then there's some models who want to like
push the boundaries.
Things. Yeah, exactly. Push the boundaries. That's when things
change it up.
Cool ideas.
Nice.
Also, there are some shoots where I would think of like, okay, this is the kind of light setup that I want to use. I'll try this kind of light setup. Or like just the other day, I was shooting with so I have a full frame camera, right? And I have this crop sensor 10 to 20. So what happens in the photo, it's gonna look, it's not really fish
the opposite eye, of the just this, vignette.
It's super wide. No, there's a vignette. There's a big vignette. But then the photo's like circle, and I'm like, I want to try shooting.
It's like exaggerated on purpose.
Shoot, yeah. So for one whole shoot, that's the only lens I used.
Damn.
I just wanted to see, and the photos are pretty cool. Like I uploaded some today, but just stuff like that where you just try different things.
That's awesome. That's super dope. I remember when I came over in Manila and the time you guys were shooting, I had
so random.
I had such a fun time like shooting a video of you guys and just watching you guys in action. And shout out to Ali.
Oh, I remember her name.
Yeah,
Ali.
I still follow her. Like, I don't remember the other guy though.
Yeah, I forgot the guy's name too.
That European guy.
Yeah, because shooting with Ali is one of the first models I was shooting a lot with before. That's why when we shot again, it was so comfortable. Like it was literally just hanging out. I mean, not that I don't shoot models who I haven't shot before the same way. It's just it was extra comfortable. Like I wasn't, because usually when it's a new model, there's more of like, hey, how you doing? Like blah, blah, blah. There's all this, But when I don't know if you saw with Ali, it was just like, just go over there, do your thing, and like it was just very, very we didn't even talk about.
For me, you guys kind of set the bar, because after that I tried to do my own test shoots, and like they weren't even models, and you know, it was a bit of a learning curve. You know, I'm still learning.
Yeah.
I don't even consider myself a photographer, like photographer, because it is a challenge to get like flattering photos, and especially trying to get being even like expressive, like creating something expressive or leaning towards the fashion. Anyway, you guys kind of set the bar for me because like just the movement, it's like a dance.
Yeah. Especially with Ali.
That's how I saw it. It's a dance of trying to get certain angles and like while it's and it's almost intuitive. Whereas
Exactly.
when I comparing it to when I was like trying to do my shoot, like it, you know, I have to be like the director, and I'm not used to it. I don't want to sound too pushy, and I kind of want to get this angle, and I'm like, okay, try, and just trying to communicate the vision. But to be honest, I didn't really have a vision. I was just messing around and trying to see what I discover. But yeah, like just that photo shoot of you guys when I was there, it really like gave me a peek into how a photo shoot would be held. Like it's pretty cool, man. Like just like the different clothes, the setup, the music. It's such a vibe. You create a vibe.
You have to.
You have to create that vibe to get those those photos where you capture something that's really unique and just amazing.
Because also there's a lot of things that were being done that weren't really said, like what you said a while ago, where it was very trying to get all these angles. There are a lot of things that, for example, like if Ali put a limb here, or if she bent a certain way, I would kind of follow too. Or if I went to a certain angle, she would also know where to kind of go and do something. That was a lot of experience and us being comfortable with each other at the same time. And it's hard to kind of, although when I do the workshops, the way I approach it is like, so we'll have a model and I'll tell them like, okay, I want you, this is what you're going to focus on. Just focus on her face. Just get her face. And then they would take photos, like I think 20 photos. And then I would look at the 20 photos it's all on the spot. So, and then the next person will take the photos, and then I'll look at the photos and like, try approaching it here, try approaching it there. And it's,
what do you mean here? What do you mean here?
It's
like,
a lot
is it a different area.
Like, no, it's more of like, depending on how the person shoots, it's like sometimes the people who attend the workshop, some of them kind of approach it like in one kind of perspective. And what I was trying to show is like, try it have you thought of trying it from here? Like you can go from the side, or you can go even tighter, like just go closer. And like depending on what they show me is when I'll just put something in their head. Basically, the idea is you think of everything, you think of all these approaches, and then you'll choose out of experience. You'll eventually know which approach is best for the certain scenario, but you won't get there unless you tried all these approaches on different shoots. That's why the practice. That's also practice. Like, okay, if I'll do this kind of outfit, like what will happen if she wears a coat and she's like above me and I'm below? Like, will it work out? Will it look good? Or like maybe I have to be above. Like basically all these. It's just important it may not be the optimal choice of the shoot during that time, the approach, but at least now you know that, okay, so this doesn't look good on this thing. And it's just important to know all these options in your head of approaching the model or the shoot or the product, whatever. That's the critical thinking that I'm always trying to tell people when it comes to photography. It's like, even with videography, like it's not the same. I mean, it's similar, but like as long as you have that kind of thinking wherein you consider all the
I'm going to
options,
implement that now.
all. Yeah, like I've always told you that before. It's
Yeah.
like you just try to just always think of how you could make it better.
But it's
or
so
if there's another way to
paralyzing.
approach it. I know.
There's so
but then
many
from
different
experience-
ways.
Yeah,
No, I get it.
exactly. But then that's why having a mood board is important. It gives you more direction. Then you play around those parameters, and it's always a learning experience. It's
And
fun.
there's so many levels, like especially in the video. And I understand why you chose photo, because video, there's so many moving parts.
It's
There's
so
the model,
hard.
there's the location, there's the editing. People don't understand.
Yeah.
Like most people don't understand like how much it takes to create a great
A
looking
good
video. And
yeah.
and like when I was growing up, when I look at the end of the credits of ending credits of a movie, I never understood why there's so many people that worked on this movie
Behind it.
until now when I well, not now. I mean, like when I started doing my filmmaking, I can't even remember when I started 2-3 years ago.
Mhm.
Three,
I would say, yeah.
yeah. I started with 2-3 somewhere there.
Your
Anyway.
phone. Yeah.
Started with my phone. Can't believe it's only been 2-3 years. I feel like
I know.
holy shit.
No, because it's the improvement. It's the like when you were showing me those business cards, those video business cards. I'm like,
Dude.
yo, you shot this? Like that was genuine. I was like, holy shit, you shot this? Or like,
Well,
just
I
stuff
kind of
before
cheated
that.
on the
I'm
last
like,
one because Andrew had a lot of amazing behind the scenes, which helped with the B-roll.
Yeah, but it was all still like the purpose, everything, the shots.
Yeah.
You can watch it from beginning to end without feeling like, why am I watching this? It was good.
Shout out Andrew, Just Play Media. No, he's my homeboy. Like,
Mhm.
I reached out to him like, I have this idea. I want to create it for you. Yeah, it's just amazing. Anyway, yes, I forgot what I was saying. Sorry,
This is also
episode
yeah.
1.
Can I just want to share one more thing. This is also why I don't play games that last for hours because yeah, exactly. No, this is the perfect example because Dota.
Tell me.
So
Tell me.
for example, like in my head back then too, I'm like, if I took a video to be able to learn, I mean, just the amount of experience you'll get per game takes so much effort, so much more effort than you would with photo. Like with photos,
Per game. I love
shoot
that
for an
analogy.
hour. You get what you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying,
per
right? So with
game.
photos,
It's the
I could
engine,
shoot-
right?
I could shoot
It's
for
your-
an hour
Yeah.
and I'll edit in the same day I could do it. And
Brilliant.
I've gained experience with videos to do exactly what even if it's like not really simple, but like it's just a good idea.
Yep.
It's not going to take a day. It's going to take more than a day.
Yep.
Just to finish everything, to
Mhm.
get the people and to like figure out the music, everything. So that to me is like Dota to fighting games, wherein fighting games are quick, you learn faster. Dota, you learn in 5 games, it'll take 5 hours. Yeah.
Well, to be fair, like that's part of the reason why I've kind of started setting up my little room here so that when I get into like the state of like wanting to play the game, or I call it the engine, right? It's my engine. The engine is from ideation to creation, the process, and then like post-production and shipment of work, that whole process. Because at the end of the day, there's so many moving parts, right? So you get your idea, you refine the idea, if you want to script it or whatever, like what's the framework, what's the end result, right? So like, as I said earlier, there's so many moving parts. So having a framework or a constriction, is that a word? Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
To prevent me from like going to different directions and kind of guide me. So it's like ideation, creation, shipment of work, right? That's kind of like my process right now. So that's what I call the engine. So I set up my studio.
Okay.
It's not really a studio. It's just a room that I'm kind of making it as a studio. So that I'll come up here, I'll shoot a bunch of videos. Like after I do my ideation, shoot a bunch of videos, get it done, and get it done at scale. Because the thing is, it's getting it done at scale, at the quantity and quality. I'm trying to get to that sweet spot like you were when you were on fire, when you were consistently doing test shoots. And that's what I'm trying to do here right now in my space, so I can create content. And part of the reason why I'm doing this podcast, and I said it earlier, is so I can organically make content. Because the thing is, people can tell when you're faking this shit, right? When they can see it on the video. But when you're talking to someone, even though it's through it's better in person, but right now, like, we're countries apart. Talking to someone like right now through Zoom, this is a great segue for where I'm going now. It really helps have that organic feel, because you're being real. There's no filters here. There's nothing's being scripted. You're just talking. You're genuinely having a conversation. You feel those vibes, and when you're able to capture that on camera, I live for that shit, man. And when I'm able to do that for my clients, and video is so powerful, bro. It's so powerful. If you do it the right way and you're intentional about it. I mean, like, there's videos that are just, they look great, but do they really achieve what they set out to? Otherwise it's expensive media. And my segue was Zoom. During COVID, you were the pioneer in doing online.
Okay.
Like, it's a great segue, because people would think
I wouldn't say pioneer. Like, probably
whatever. You were one of the first. You're one of the first.
Yeah.
I'll say it. You don't say it, I'll say it. You pioneered it, right? So you're one of the first during COVID. Creatives looked down on it. Like, a lot of creatives looked down on it, would you say? But you didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I admired it. I admired it because I'm open-minded. Like, and the thing is, some people, the reason why I'm asking, if it's for the listener, hopefully, if you're still here an hour in, is despite people judging you for doing that, what made you still do it? Because, like, I'm just putting myself in the shoes of someone who's like, okay, I found my alacrity, but then it's time to adapt. But I'm getting restricted by external pressures from outside, But you still did it, and were successful at it. Because by the end of the year, you got like an article, New York City-based magazine. Share something about it.
I just, when you understand the potential of something that could be so great, like, it was almost undeniable. Like, and there's this one photographer, they're a couple, they're a pair actually, Mert and Marcus. They're legends in the industry.
Shout them out. Can you send me the handles?
I will.
They have.
They're living legends. They have books and everything. And they did an online shoot with Pharrell. And
what?
And yeah, dude, like, it was a thing. That's why, like, it all of a sudden, imagine you could create with anyone in the world, with any business, any company, from your house. All you have to do, again, like, it felt like I was starting again, because I just have to make the portfolio to show that I can create photos that emulate me being in that place, but I'm all the way here. So my goal, after realizing that, after the first like 5 or 6 online shoots, I was like, holy shit, this could be huge. Like, this could actually, it's like a fucking renaissance. Like, it's because of COVID, like we're forced to do it, but it was available before maybe, but then now it's like,
Yeah.
it's definitely viable. And because of that realization,
The unlock.
yeah, we even had like a little team before of like, so we were looking for models and then for clients, for agencies, and we have a Excel sheet of like the models we shot, the models that we're going to ask, the agencies, the companies that we could offer the service to. Because I've done some work via FaceTime, and like it's pretty crazy. But yeah, it's because of that I just had a conviction of like, dude, like why are you fighting this idea of being able to work with Nike has done it, magazines have done it. Yeah, Nike's done an online shoot with like someone playing football. It's crazy. But yeah, it's just when you just think about the possibilities of this idea, it's just you have to create the photo to prove to them that it's viable, right? People aren't putting ads anywhere lately, like no one's going out, so everything's online. That is the answer to the debate of like, but the photo quality isn't as good. I'm like, it's just on your phone or like on your laptop, and it does the job, because with FaceTime it actually takes a photo from your camera rather than a screenshot of what we see. So the quality is actually whatever iPhone the other person has, their camera quality. So that kind of that tackles the whole quality debate about it. Yeah, because I've just had a lot of like, I've been on another podcast wherein they were talking about that, and I was like, well, it's mostly for your phone. Everyone's online, everything's social media. And another question before was like, how do you differentiate your work from other people if it's all from like the same device? And I'm like, what's your camera? He was like, I have this
That's like
Canon
asking
something.
That's like asking, hey, how can you cut the vegetable the same way if you use a different knife?
I know. When I was like, why are you asking me this? Like, are you serious? Like,
You're
what's your
looking at
camera?
the
Tell
tool,
me.
bro.
Yeah,
They're just tools.
exactly.
They're just tools.
Yeah.
To tell a story. At the end of the day, I feel like we're all just telling stories. And when you're able to capture a moment and tell a story through that photo and reach people through that, that's the power. That's the essence of what we're doing here. In my opinion, in my humble opinion, even though if I
get it.
sounded like it, but I'm just passionate, right? I'm really passionate because right now it's like, you know, my journey, like I've kind of like unlocked as well. It's the same feeling you had of when like, oh my God, this is like Renaissance. That's how I feel about video and trying to unlock impact focused leaders, business leaders, and trying to unlock them with video and the internet. The video and internet combined, it's like, you know what I mean? Like right now, you and me, we're doing this right now because of video and internet, and I'm unlocking you. I'm gonna cut this up. I'm gonna create some pieces of content about the shit we were just talking about, and hear your story. How powerful is that? Like right now, I'm still getting mind blown every time I talk.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And I'm trying to
content,
because there's a lot of like noise out there, right? And like I feel like I'm gonna go on a tangent now, and like whoever's listening is probably gone, but it's just like you and me now. It's just like that's why I've put such a focus right now on like building the foundation of Alacrity Media and like my core values, because it's an extension of myself in a sense that I really like where my Alacrity comes from is talking to you, because I know that you have that fire within you, and I want to help you unlock that. And because we're both, it's a win-win situation in my opinion, because when I am helping you, it makes me fucking feel alive. Like it gives me that. Does that make sense?
I get it. I get it. I get it.
So that's my tangent of the day of this podcast. So let's go back to Pokemon.
Okay.
No,
We never went there, but okay.
No, I said it on the intro.
Intro. Oh, yeah.
No.
How old was that?
For real. 2021. You're now in the KOB. I love saying that because we never called it that.
I know. I've never heard that before.
I'm coining it, man. I'm coining it. The KOB, baby.
Jeez.
It's we grew up there, bro. It's our hometown. Like that's like when people ask me where I'm from, I can't really say, I'm from the Philippines. Like I was born there, but I didn't really grow up there. So I don't feel like
I get it. But I'm more half and half.
Well, you spent a good portion. Yeah.
In Manila, yeah. So I'm pretty half about it. Like I definitely consider like I'm more comfortable in the Philippines. Like it's more homely because of the circle of just the environment of the industry and just the mindset of how people are. It's just I'm more comfortable with how spontaneous and passionate Philippines is, to be honest.
Philippines is fun as fuck.
Yeah.
And especially because, as you said, it's the people there, and it's once you get a good like circle around you, it's all about relationships. At the end of the day,
yeah,
countries.
Those are so important.
It's the fucking relationships, and it's the relationships that you create. And right now, with the internet, anyway, what I'm trying to say is, you're in Bahrain right now,
and
you're pushing the boundaries. 1910. You just started a new studio, your own studio.
Yeah.
How like this? That's exciting, man. Tell me more about like how did it start?
It started because we met up with an acquaintance who was interested in having a studio, and we were supposed to have like some kind of deal with her where we what's the word? Basically, we shoot for her business, and then we get to keep the studio in her place. So it's kind of win-win in a way. And that kind of didn't happen, but we actually got all the equipment already. So we put it up in Johan's place for the meantime. But because of COVID, it was difficult to kind of just keep getting people to enter a home. You know, it's like I understood as much as like it kind of like I was saddened by it. So we stopped it for a while. But then we were able to open it at there's a place here called Hospitalia by Yara, and they it's a beauty clinic. So anything beauty, things of the sort, and they kind of own this building, and we're actually going to put up our studio with the building. And what I love about it the most is their Hospitalia is very fashion inclined. Like they're very just the stuff they have around the furniture. They have all these fashion books. The way they post on social media, it's not the typical kind of clinic. So that's why like it was such a good fit.
Nice.
So yeah, we're gonna open a space. We're just waiting for some things to clear up, and because it's lockdown too, it kind of doesn't make sense to open now. But probably as soon as lockdown finishes, we'll definitely move our stuff in there. But yeah, just having a studio is it's part of the bucket list as a creative, to have a space that you can create and call it yours. I was in this other interview, and they put it in a way that I never thought about before. The guy was like, because they asked some questions too, and he was like, "What did you guys do during the lockdown or like during COVID?" Well, Kevin here opened up a studio. I was like, I didn't think of it that way, but yeah, that is pretty crazy.
No, it's not, man. Yeah, it's revolutionary. You're doing your thing, man.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you, bro.
It's cool. Although the ideal situation is my home would have a studio, but I'm not there yet. But having a studio that I can call mine, it's nice.
That's awesome.
Definitely bucket list.
And I want to shout out like I know Joan's in your team and Johan. I want to kind of put them on the spotlight a little bit. I know it's a long story, but how, I guess we're talking about like, how did you originally, Joan, how did you guys kind of start in terms, your video's gone.
I'm back.
In terms of like working together in the same creative, like how did that start? Or maybe
me and Joan have been together for 12 years now. And in the beginning of when I first had that photo video class, I think the photo class was first, or they were at the same time. But anyway, when I first had that class, I needed to borrow a camera, and it was her camera that I borrowed. It was a Canon 400D. It has the max ISO was 1.6. It had, I think, 8 autofocus points. You can't even live view it. Like, that's how old that camera was. And that was the first camera I just played around with. Like, she had like a prime lens, I think. So I was just having so much fun making bokeh, like fucking, like, like I love that shit back then. Oh, bokeh is so good. Like it was very, I think most photographers. Yeah. So my first lenses were actually the ones I bought were all primes. I had a 50 and a 35. I had a 50 1.4 and a 35 2 f2. And I started with primes, and she kind of got into it as well eventually. Like she saw that it was like an industry it's fun. It's like especially the fashion industry. You just meet people, like-minded people, curious people. And she because she's mostly into art and fashion. Like she went to school for art and fashion, separate schools for it. And she also liked photography a lot. And it just made sense that we both did our own thing, but together in a way. And fast forward, I think 7 years after that, and now we're here. But what's great about it is we both have an understanding of the work and the time and the effort needed. So it's really easy to talk about things that I'm concerned with because she could be going through the same thing, or she has an experience about it, or just or the simple things of like how all my guy friends are like, yo, you're shooting all these girls naked. How does your girlfriend think about it? And shit like that. It's like she doesn't, because we don't look at them that way. Anyway.
I get it.
But yeah, it's fun having a partner who
That's
understands rare, right? to the core of like how I think about photography. And that's why we're each other's like best assistant, because like I know what she wants to do. Or like I know what, because being an assistant is actually it's so important. Like even now I don't mind assisting to like some photographer I look up to, because you have to think in their shoes. You have to because you're that extra, you're like another limb for them to count on. You know, like they're busy doing this. If I was him, how would I make this situation more optimal for him or her, for the photographer? So do I prepare holding this, or do I get this? You know what I mean? Like you just, it's you're on your toes. You're just thinking like how to make this better. Because you also see things a certain way. I was assisting Paulo Pineda for a while, you know, but I wasn't really assistant. How to explain? Basically, he told me like, I just want you here so I can bounce ideas off of you. Because he had an actual assistant who did the manual setting up the lights, I would occasionally hold a reflector, but like my purpose there was to like talk to him about things. So I had a lot of experience just like staring and looking at the setup and looking at the end photo
like
and his approach. Kind of, yeah. And then I would tell him like, how about this thing? Do you wanna like there's this one element that you can include? He was like, okay, I'll try it. Or like, no, he was okay. Like it was fun. It was very enlightening because I was able to, because he has really nice photos too. Like that's partly why I and he turned out to be a really good friend. Like we're such good friends now. It never felt like a mentor-mentee relationship.
That's great.
But yeah, anyway. And with Johan, he got into this, I think, a year and a half ago. And
yeah, I remember Johan sharing me videos.
Yeah, and he's getting better. I can see the progress. And I'm just telling him the same thing, like just keep creating. He's not looking into gear anymore as much as before. So that's cool.
Quick.
Yeah.
That was quick.
Yeah.
Because
now he's like, dude, I just need this one thing because of this. And like I understand, like he needs a monitor for his camera. Like I get that. Yeah, like he's not like, I want to try this, I want to buy this one. Like he was like that before. He has all these things. Now he's like, from the experience of shooting, oh man, I need a monitor. He has 3 lights and satisfied with that. But yeah, his work is definitely. Actually, I just want to share. Like I had the shoot, the one I was talking about. I was using a wide lens, a wide crop sensor. The model was actually asking for him, like, oh, can he come along too? Because I love his work. And I sent him that screenshot, and he was like, oh man, like it just, like starting out
for creatives,
and you hear this
juice.
Yeah,
that's juice.
And she's a really good model. She's a really good, pretty model. She's a friend of mine. And when she said that, I was like, oh man, I got to show you on this. So I screenshot the conversation. I sent it to him, and it builds up your. Because when you're starting out, you don't want to charge. You don't want to put a good price on your videos, even if you're doing good work.
No, I feel that, and I was there as well.
Yeah. So I told him, like, you see this comment? Now you can put more self-respect into your work and yourself. Like, don't now, you see what I mean? Like, yeah, of course, experience matters, but sometimes when I believe if someone tells you, you could price it at this much, do it, even if you feel like you don't think it's right.
The thing is, it's taboo.
People see it. Taboo. What do you mean taboo? Taboo in what sense?
Taboo I feel like when I was starting out, and I feel like in the creative world, like pricing your shit. It's like taboo to talk about your pricing or even charging people. Like, how much should you charge? Anyway, that's another topic. And I could dive deeper into that, but I really want to cut it off here because I think we're way past an hour, but we're still gonna talk about this for sure. But Kevin Brent, I'm so fucking honored for you to be on this podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Tell the people, like I don't think anyone's listening at this point, but tell the people what you're up to, what's happening next, how can they reach you?
My Instagram is Kevin Brent with 2 T's. My TikTok is Kevin Brent with 3 T's.
That's cool.
That's pretty much it. You can just message me. I look at all my message requests. All my message requests. I read them. That's about it. No, I don't. I intend to, but
it's a whole other world.
It's a process. Yeah, probably for the studio, I'll make a website. But yeah.
Cool. Thanks for coming. Anyway, I'm gonna cut it there. I'm fucking honored, man. But yeah.